So recently we just processed 14 of our baby rabbits that were about 12 weeks old and sent them off to freezer camp. And in this video we're going to show you what our process is on processing our rabbits. Unfortunately, YouTube won't let us show too much. However, we do have a Patreon video now where it shows more in depth. So if you want to see that video, we'll put that link down in the description below. Which one she wants, the gray one or the black one?
The gray girl she bought.
Okay.
You better start getting some of these boys. Let's do the boys first. Alright, get out of my way. You're a small guy. Why are you gonna pick the black one first?
No! You're definitely going first now.
Calming her down and down.
So the reason why we put some soap in here is we noticed last time all the water didn't get in between the hairs, and it just dried out real easy.
And hair was flying everywhere.
Yeah, so we were trying to avoid that. Let me hang this up. We'll talk about the hopper popper. So with the hopper popper, we got this from Rabbit Center. He's got a great YouTube channel what I've been learning a lot of our rabbit husbandry from and stuff. So I decided to go ahead and purchase this from him. It's a very simple tool, just basically rebar and angle iron. Since we don't have a welder or any machine type stuff, I decided to just go ahead and get this from him. Didn't know any welders around here. He suggests either putting at knee height or waist height. I decided to go ahead and move this to knee height. That way, in case Mrs. Nikki Gardner, since I'm about 2 feet taller than her, I'm actually a foot taller than her. I decided to go at my knee height. That way, if she decides to jump in, she'd be able to do that as well. But as you see, we just pulled and wait till you feel their neck or their head dislocates from their body, and then you check their eyes just to see if they're like really dead. You'll see they're still twitching, just basically their body going into shock. And then I'll let it kind of do their last few things, and then we'll go into the water, which I just showed you. We'll add about a few drops of dish soap with some water just to get it in there. We kind of treat it almost like when we do chickens. Getting those helps that soap. That soap is going to help get the water in between the hairs, so that way that hair doesn't get on the meat when you're slicing it up. Now I'm going to show you about the gambrel that I made. All right, this is a easy gambrel. Once again, we got this idea from the Rabbit Center on YouTube and on his website. All it is just some conduit and some wire that we put together. I have his hocks, the rabbit hocks. This is where the ankle's at, right above the ankle. So when it's time to dislocate it, it'll be freely, and it just hangs to you. I have the belly facing me. Hold on, we got to put the back. Get back over there. You know better. Get over there. Yep,
Homestead life. He's being a toot.
So we have the belly towards us, so that way, for me, that's the simplest way to do this. And we're just showing you ways that's comfortable for us. If you have or found some other way that's easier for you, you can go right ahead. But here is as you can see, the animal is dead, out of commission. We, just like chickens, we restrict the feed from the animals. That way we can get their clear passage. We still give them water. We'll move them 12 hours before that, restrict their food. So if they are eating, they're just eating grass, and there's not much you can do from there. Some people do 24. I think that's a little bit harsh, but that's up to, like I said, that's up to y'all, how y'all want to do it. For us, it's 12 hours. Let's go with the tools, simple tools that you'll need to harvest this. So here, you always, just with any animal, if you're going to be butchering, you always want to have some set of nice, sharp knives. The more the better. When you're doing these animals, you don't want your knife to hit the bone, because that's going to dull up your blade. We got some bull's nose snips, or you can use some electrical sheet metal shears. And what these will be good for is when you're coming over here, when you're cutting off the feet, instead of using your knife, I'd rather use this. This is made for cutting hard things. And then when you're cutting off the hawk here, and then I'll use the knife to cut the head off and drain it. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and drain him. So what we'll do is we'll just take his head, and we'll just bleed him out. While that's bleeding, I'm going to take care of this duck again. Why you keep on coming up here? There's no food.
This is his first time doing this.
Oh, he's trapped now.
Oh, he went right through that.
I will find a nice spot and I will pull the skin from the leg. You don't want to cut the meat, so you got to be very careful on that point. See how good a sharp knife will be. Let's see. So then from here, what I would do is I'll just slightly score it just to open up that membrane. And try not to cut the meat. Now you see the importance of a knife. That soap still didn't even help, so. Then we'll do the same thing for the inner side. And then we'll just try to pull it away. And these are 12 weeks. You can harvest these Tamuk rabbits as early as 8. I would, and they say up to 16, but I would say I wouldn't go past 12 weeks, 13 at the longest.
I don't know why he's acting a fool today.
Oops, I accidentally cut it. So
this is what you don't want.
So what I should have did is like this, pulled it away, then scored it. Pull away, score. Pull away, score. Pull away, score.
It's good to see what you don't want done.
And I try to put the knife away when I'm pulling around, pulling the meat, the skin, the hide off, because I don't want to accidentally poke me in the face or, you know, just safety first. And you just right here, you get all of that meat. You want to get the hide away from the meat. And then here you just go up inside here in this pocket, and you could just poke through there, and you could just run your fingers down, and you just want to ease that hide off of the belly of the skin of the meat. And then you do the same for the back. You see how easy this gambro is? You can turn it around without any issues. And once again, you just go put your finger through there and just remove the hide away from the body.
Now at that point, I usually cut through to tear it down.
Yeah. I just want to make sure I have a good clean stripe. So I've seen different people do different methods to get this part off. I'm just showing you how we do it. Once again, we are no expert. You just take that part and you just put your knife underneath there with the knife blade up, and you just go up.
You cut, yeah, that's perfect.
Yep. Just like that. And then from here, you see right here, let me put this knife down. So I'm gonna cut the camera lady, and you just cut right through there, and you come in through here and there, just like you would do a chicken, to get all of this out.
Now we learned about removing the anal glands.
Yeah.
And
Who did we learn that from?
we learned that from Mel at Catalina Acres.
Yeah.
We picked up some good tips from her. Because I hadn't heard anybody talk about the anal glands.
Let's see, vent gland. So as you can see right here, if you remember, I just took all that part out. So now is where I take the head and the front hocks off. I really don't need the shears for the bull nose for this, but you could. Some people give the ears to dehydrate them as a treat, I guess. Did you want to even try that for like dogs or whatever? No. We'll cut off the hock. Basically, you'll find that joint right there. It's going to be like that, and you're going to cut that off. Do it again, just like that.
Yeah.
So now that the head and the front hocks are off, it's going to be a lot easier to just pull the whole hide off. And you just want to take your time gently so you don't tear any of the
And you
meat.
can see that membrane slowly sliding down the meat like that.
Yeah. Now if you had the head and the feet still on, you won't be able to pull that off. I'm gonna kick your butt. So now we're gonna take the guts out, and what you do for that, so right now you just pull that out. You see it just like that, and you make a small little slit, and then from there, what I like to do is grab my fingers like this, and you see this, you see that line right here? That's what I like to try to follow. Go about right there, about halfway, right a little bit around the stuff, the guts. So there's where all the poop is at. So what I would do is you got some poop in there as well. And if you, like I said, if you would have fed them prior to that, it would have been all full of poop. So we try to take that away, pull it down, get their bladder. That's their bladder right there. And you want to try to pinch that off like that. Just like that. And pull down.
And hold that up so we can look at it good. Yeah.
And then the rest you could just come off like that. Grab your hand inside just like you would do. Let me cut this down just a little bit more. Pull all of that out. Whoop. You got your kidneys. You said we're not saving the kidneys?
No.
Actually, give those to the chicken.
Yeah, that can make a chicken snack. I bet you they would eat all the guts. They won't eat the feet or anything with hair.
Yeah. So we'll get this kidney. Oop. And then you get the liver and the lungs.
Let me see it.
So this is a nice, healthy liver.
That's another thing. You want to examine their livers whenever you do this, just to make sure you do have some healthy meat.
Those are the lungs. I'll try to give that to the chicken, see if they'll eat that. There we go. And that's the heart.
Hold still.
So right there is what we're going to try to cut off at. You see where it bends at, that joint? You want to try to get a clean cut. Just like that. Do some last minute inspections. And we'll do another inspection when we'll put it in the, when we bag it up. But now we'll just put this on ice, get the body temperature down to low as possible before we put this in the freezer.
Can we use frozen ice jugs?
Yeah, you could use ice water. This is more convenient because you can keep on reusing this. It's a less expense that we have to worry about by just reusing a water jug that we used before. Put it on ice. After we're done with this tomorrow for 24 hours, we'll let that be on ice, get the body temperature cool, and then we'll bag it and we'll show you that one next. So it's been 24 hours since we butchered these rabbits. We put them in the sink to let them air dry. And we did this, we learned this new packaging way of our rabbits by Mel of Catalina Acres. We went to one of her rabbit classes, and they raised tamooks just like us. And what she basically told us was the best way to do is they put the feet, tuck it into the cavity of the rabbit. I'm about to say bird. and then they make a little slits for the front legs of the side flaps of the rabbits to tuck in. And as you can see, makes a better presentation. Once we did this shrink bag, sometimes it would poke through the bag, and so we will get a bad seal on that. And this happens to be, so far, it's a little bit time consuming trying to get it all in, but it's better because now we don't have to worry about any of the shrink bags from ever puncturing. So just like a chicken. So we got these bags from Texas Poultry Shrink Bags. We're do these rabbits similar to what you do with your chickens. If y'all harvest any of y'all chickens, you get a straw, a metal straw. They come with a plastic straw, but I feel the metal stainless steel straw is more sanitary, and then you can reuse it. That way you don't have to keep on purchasing the straws. You twist, do the zip ties. They'll give you zip ties with your purchase of bags, however many bags that you purchase. And if you have the logo, they will put your logo on with the stamps. You want to squeeze all the air out.
Squeeze.
Squeeze. And then you put it into the hot water. You want your water to be anywhere from about 180 to 200. I like to keep it around 190, 195. It just seems better where it doesn't even poach your meat of either your poultry or your rabbits.
And you're only keeping it in there for how long?
No more than 5 seconds. Just like that. It sucks all the air out, and then my lovely assistants will pull the straw as I make sure the bag is tight. And it's just like that. Bam. And last time we did these rabbits, they were averaging about 285 to 3 pounds. I think I'm going to go with a different feed next time to kind of bulk them up, even though they're mostly pasture raised. But we do supplement their feed with some pellets, continue on with their pellets once we wean them off of their mother. So I definitely want to try a higher protein on pellets with these rabbits.
We also didn't keep their bowl full.
Yeah.
It wasn't constant.
Yeah, because like I said, we were mostly raising off of grass because we wanted to keep it as natural as possible, just as a supplement, because our pasture here on our homeland, when we first purchased the property, they were using the pasture for hay. They were taking that nutrients out of the soil and wasn't replenishing that nutrients back into the soil. And just for being here a little bit over 2 years from rotating our animals of our chickens, turkeys, and now rabbits, and now the waterfowl as well, we're starting to see a lot more improvement. We still have a lot ways to go. Especially once we get this new animal that we haven't told y'all about later on. But we are no longer seeing thistle. We are no longer seeing, I think it's called henbit in our grass. However, we are getting a lot of goat weed, so that is going to take some time. And eventually, once that poultry poop, most of that nitrogen from the poop from our animals getting rotated, grazing on the pasture, allowing it to rest, and then with the heavy rain that we get in the beginning of the season, especially in the spring and some of the fall, it just soaks it all down, and the more nutrients that you have, it blocks out the bad weeds. And we're actually going to be trying to get a tiller or a land plane to kind of till up this area and level it all out. So that's going to also improve it, because a lot of the pasture out there has been compacted. It still have like ruts from the heavy machinery that was used of the previous owner. So we got a few more bags to do. If you want to see how we started this whole rabbit journey from the time that we got our rabbits, we'll put that video up to the side and also in the description down below. Until the next video, let's grow together.